Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I am making a chicken fried rice, and I have done all of the mise en place, got everything cut up and laid out ahead of time. Um, if you're just starting out cooking, this is probably the most important lesson you should learn, is read the recipe, make sure you've got all of the ingredients, and take a few moments before you start cooking to sort of lay everything out in the order that they're going to be used. It'll save you a ton of headache later. So, first up with a chicken fried rice is chicken. So I'm going to put that into a bowl. And now we put in the rest of the ingredients for the chicken marinade. And that is, I'm using our homemade teriyaki sauce, and I will link to that above or below. Also some baking soda, some cornstarch, and that's just going to be a little bit of a thickener. The baking soda is a tenderizer. I hesitate to show you this, but that is MSG. I love MSG. I put it in pretty much every time. You can leave it out if you have a problem with it. And we'll grate in some ginger. So I know that MSG gets a really bad rap, but I suffer no ill effects from it, and I love the flavors that it brings out. And I know that a lot of people that are my friends that complain about MSG in things. Oh, I got an MSG headache. Surprisingly, don't get an MSG headache when they've eaten other snack foods that are loaded with MSG. So I kind of question whether they actually know what's giving them a headache. Anyway, so we mix this all together, and if you need a little bit more teriyaki sauce, add a little bit more. You don't want to make it too wet at this point. You just sort of want to flavor this chicken while we cook some of the other ingredients. Great. Got a wok. This is a carbon steel wok, untreated, uncoated, and I'm just going to heat that up. In this bowl, I've got a couple of eggs, and you just want to sort of whip those together a little bit. And this is grapeseed oil, so we'll heat up a little grapeseed oil in the bottom of the pan. Smoking hot already. And in go the egg. And I just fry that together, essentially making scrambled eggs. Don't overcook it. Take it off the heat before it gets too cooked. And we'll just set that aside in this bowl. Now, back on the heat, a little more oil. And in goes the chicken. Great, so the chicken is done, and I'll just slide that into the bowl with the egg. And then at this point, you really should clean out the inside of your wok so that the next things won't burn. One of the things you see in a Chinese kitchen, in a Chinese restaurant kitchen, is that in between each fry, the wok gets a thorough cleaning, fresh oil, and then they throw the next thing in. So at home, if you want to replicate it, you should be doing the same thing. So there wasn't really much left on the bottom after frying the egg, but after frying the chicken, there's quite a bit there, so I'm going to clean it out. And we're back with a clean pan, and so we'll just heat that up. Induction cooktop, it heats really quickly. So in with a little bit of oil, and we'll just swirl that around. Already hot. Now from this point forward, it's just a build in the pan. So in go some carrots and broccoli stems. And we'll just fry those around a little bit. And how soft you cook these is really up to you. How much crunch you want in the final dish. I kind of like having carrots and broccoli stems with a little bit of substance, a little bit of crush. But if you want them cooked to almost mush, then that's fine. It's going to be your stir-fried rice. A little bit of char and flavor. So in go the white parts of some green onions, the tops of broccoli, and some peas. And we'll just stir that around to heat those through. Now the chicken and the egg goes back in. Just stir fry that a little bit just to meld some of the flavors. It'd be great if I could flip this and move the pan at the same time, but on an induction cooktop, that's just not possible. Every time you lift the pan off, the cooktop shuts off and beeps and says, hey, where'd the pan go? So, once I got that stirred in, I've got already cooked rice. I've used basmati rice, and I cooked that this morning in chicken stock, and then just left it out on a sheet pan to dry out. Of course, everyone tells you to use rice that was cooked yesterday or the day before, and that probably is the best suggestion. But if you cook the rice a little bit on the dry side and then put it out to dry on a sheet pan, you're going to achieve great same-day results. And a great video to watch on cooking rice is What's Eating Dan on American Test Kitchen. So at this point, I'm looking at that and I say it needs a little bit more flavor. So, a little more teriyaki sauce. Turn the heat down a little bit at this point so the rice doesn't stick to the bottom. And this stuff. This is togarashi. It's a Japanese hot pepper spice. So this isn't. This definitely is not a Chinese fried rice. I like flavors that are a little bit more on the Japanese side. And the beauty of a fried rice is you can make it any way you want. So at this point, I'd say we're ready to go to the table. Now, you can serve this any way you like. I'm going to put this on the table tonight with a bunch of other things, but often I'll just cook this up and have it all week for my lunch. So, I'm going to save this for my lunch. I'm going to put that on the table for everybody. Sprinkle on some green onion, and you've got yourself an amazing side dish, main dish, midnight snack, hangover food. There's nothing fried rice can't cure. I should give it a taste. And I encourage you to make this your own. Play with the flavors. Don't feel that you have to follow one sort of flavor profile. You want to put in chili sauce, hot garlic sauce, any combination of flavors, this would be fantastic. Because it is really fantastic. So give it a try. Thanks for stopping by. See you again soon.